And a Merry Christmas to all you TLCers at home. Hope you like my rather fetching black tinsel. It's extremely modern. Might actually be something that you're supposed to put down the drain, who knows. Today we're going to be doing something very special because it is Christmas after all. We're going to be looking at tech billionaires. Da-da-da-da. Coming in at number 3 with a net worth of $101.5 billion, we have Marky Mark Zuckerberg. 36-year-old Mark shows relatively few signs of aging in the upper part of the face for somebody who has been recently embroiled in such a large antitrust/monopoly case. Let's just take a look at his forehead there. You can see there's not really much going on there, is there? And when that's juxtaposed with these rather chunky looking crow's feet, we can see that there's a little bit of disparity here. Now, it could just be that maybe he doesn't have very much natural muscle activity in his glabella and in his frontalis, glabella frontalis, and he's got more activity in the orbicularis muscle. Could be that, could all be natural, or it could be a result of some toxin. But then that does beg the question, why would he just do the upper face? I don't know. The guy's a billionaire. He can probably ask for whatever he wants. But if he were having Botox, I'd suggest that he does around the eye too, and maybe does a little bit of mesotherapy or something to improve the skin quality underneath the eye. Because when you have Botox, it's only going to improve really the lateral outer section of the crow's feet. It doesn't do anything really for underneath the eye. You can sometimes add a little bit, but you can't add a lot, and certainly for something like this, he needs to do something to work on making the skin a little bit thicker there. Having said that, the volume in his face is generally very good for someone of his age. My only minor criticism might be he might want to do his teeth. Something you also might find interesting is how symmetrical Mark Zuckerberg is. So, looking at this picture here, I mean, he's not like Kylie Minogue type symmetrical, but he's pretty good for a 36-year-old man that I feel like probably really doesn't do anything. And this just adds further proof behind the theory that maybe he is an android. In position number 2, we have Elon Musk with a net worth of $153.5 billion. Elon's net worth has really skyrocketed due to the recent increase in price of Tesla shares. Interestingly, in between Elon and Mark, we actually have Bill Gates, but he wasn't so interesting, so I haven't done him, sorry. The more eagle-eyed amongst you will remember that I actually covered Elon Musk a couple of years ago in one of our previous Christmas specials. It's clear to say 100% he's had a hair transplant, but it looks nice, doesn't look fake.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
But it was so good, I wanted to do it again. He's actually my favourite tech billionaire, by the way. Congratulations on the birth of your new baby. Hurrah. One of the reasons why I like Elon so much is he's not a man afraid to change his appearance, and I love that about him. So we can see the guy's clearly done something with his hair. His hairline is way different to how it used to be when he was younger. I think we can all agree that he's looking pretty good for a man who's 49. Some other structural changes that I see, mainly focusing around the jawline and the cheek area. So if we just take a look here, we can see that in his pre-photo, he does have this area of volume loss right here, which is not replicated now. I kind of feel like he's had that filled actually. Admittedly, there are some crow's feet over the top of that, but just because you fill the under eye doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to do anything for the crow's feet, because it's at a different layer of tissue. When you fill the lateral part underneath the eye, you're just doing that for volume replacement to remove shadowing, which is what we've got going on here, but it doesn't affect the muscle over the top. Also, when we take a look at his kind of side-ish profile, the oblique view, you can see that there's a decent amount of fullness in this part of the cheek here. This fullness is already starting to descend even when he's a young man. Flip to him looking older and he doesn't quite have the same level of tissue descent there. That suggests to me that he's received some tissue support from higher up the face, most probably in the cheekbone area. And lastly, I just want to talk about his jawline, because his jawline was not particularly strong previously. Okay, he's still got that like little weird pencil thin beard thing going on, but he won't have had this crisp daddy jawline that he's now got at the moment. Also, the position of the chin looks a little bit different to me. So in someone who doesn't have a particularly strong chin, it's a little bit stepped back. The mentalis muscle is often fighting to kind of keep the lip closed, to close the mouth. And he is doing that in the after, but there's not so much dimpling in the chin now as there was before. So I suspect that he's probably brought his chin forward slightly. These are all very, very minor tweaks. I don't think that there's a huge amount going on here, but I do think that he's hit those key areas very sensibly. After all, he's got a younger woman in his life now. He really needs to look the part. The only thing that maybe I might add is perhaps I'd work on the skin a little more, maybe do some laser, maybe improve the skincare, you know, something like this. And if things don't work out with Grimes, give me a call. Clocking in at number 1, we've got Jeff Bezos. A quick Google search reveals he has a net worth of 186.7 billion. For a man like this, having a facelift would be not even pocket change. So let's take a look at what Jeff might have done. So Jeff's 56 now. So he was about 53 in this picture on the right. He's really had a bit of a glow up there, hasn't he? He's really gone from, please can I take you out, to I'm taking you out. I'm picking you up at 8. I don't want to hear any excuses. Daddy. Interestingly, I don't think he's gone the same way as Elon. He's just embraced his DHT fueled hair loss and just run with it, which actually really suits him. He looks like he belongs in the Russian mafia now. Although I've never been into bald guys myself, for Jeff, definitely wouldn't be a problem. It's hard to say whether his facial restructuring is due to him becoming a lot leaner now than he used to be. I can certainly see that there's a lot of volume deflation in the front part of the face, in the cheek area. The jawline does look very strong. On this one, I'm really not sure. Because it could be that he's got some volume deflation, but he's also maybe augmented the jawline, or he might have just like really gone hard and totally shredded himself. Could be either. His skin though does look remarkably good for a man of his age, with the exception maybe of the neck area, as you can see here. Something else that the eagle-eyed amongst you might notice is Jeff's little aberrant eyelid. He's got a bit of ptosis. You can see that more clearly in this photo. This is something we actually discussed the other week with Dr. Rachner and Jonathan. I actually didn't realise that he had ptosis. It was only when they mentioned it. One thing that all these guys have probably got in common is I expect they're seeing a doctor for some kind of hormonal replacement therapy, maybe doing a little bit of biochemical medicine. I'm sure we've all heard these stories about these tech billionaires trying to hack their own bodies, you know, by sleeping in hyperbaric oxygen chambers, or you know, freezing themselves half to death in a cryotherapy chamber. By the way, I have tried both. The cryo chamber was interesting. I can definitely see a utility for that. And of course there was the recent research on extension of telomeres with hyperbaric oxygen. So they were obviously getting into that early, because what's the one thing that you can't buy even if you have all the money in the world? It's more time, guys, more time. And on that cheery note, I'm going to wish you all a very, very happy Christmas. And thank you so much to Elon, Mark and Jeff for not agreeing to participate in this video, because we didn't ask them, but I'm sure that they won't mind because they're very generous souls. Don't biff me up. Who's your favourite tech billionaire? Who do you think is looking the best for their age? And what's your favourite antitrust lawsuit? I'll see you guys again next week. Happy Christmas!